Hello, everybody. Welcome to MTG Place Podcast, your place for all things magic. With me today is Josh and James. How's it going, guys?
What's up, everybody?
What's up?
Before we jump into the main topic here, this show is sponsored by Ironguard Supplies. We love their sleeves, topplers, and accessories. Get 20% off at ironguardsupplies.com using coupon code MTG Place.
Yeah, we're still on Bloomburrow Part 4 now, so if you haven't seen anything, go back and watch it. We're giving you our thoughts and design on the rares of the sets. Now we're doing multicolored, where it lies within the Magic ecosystem. But we'll be judging these mostly in a commander lens, but with like Legacy, Limited, and Cube in mind. Yeah. Want to start off with us, James, again?
Yes, indeed. So, as Josh said, we are doing the multicolored cards, which does seem to be the bulk of this set. There's a lot of them, so we'll be here for a while. Check out the other colors if you want, but I feel like these are going to be real interesting, so we're in for a fun show. So we're going to start out with this Azorius colored creature, Kestrel the Wind Crested. It is 3 white-blue for a 4/5 legendary bird scout creature. It has flying. Whenever one or more birds you control deal combat damage to a player, choose one. You may put a bird creature card from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Put a +1/+1 counter on each bird you control, or draw a card. Honestly, that's still quite a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
As much as we love finality counters here, but
Yeah, I think it's a lot of stuff that you like to do. If you're behind, you draw a card. If you are ahead, you put +1/+1 counters on your birds. If you have a big bird you want to cheat out from the hand, which is pretty unique, or graveyard, get that bird out. I think I really like it. It's not in black, so reanimate in blue-white is pretty not normal.
Pretty nice.
White does it, but
yeah,
even if you don't have any other birds, by itself, it's a 4/5 flying when you hit someone, draw a card. So,
that's pretty awesome, honestly. Yeah, and this, because it's a flying bird, it has a high chance of hitting by itself. So, also great in a bird type-ol deck. So, great for that too. Overall, kind of a just kind of a jack of all trades here. It's kind of what you wanna see. Kind of does it all.
As a legendary creature, you're running this as a commander. There's like Kanji that's typical for birds, but has been very power crept out. There's like Ishai that has partners with, but that's just like a big bird. This draws cards, and I always say if a commander draws you a card, like that's a good commander.
Yeah, that's really good. It's always going to give you gas. That's a lot of times what you need, especially if it's a more creature-based deck.
I think 5-drop's the only thing holding it back, but it's still powerful.
Yeah, definitely.
Move on to Vren the Relentless. 2 blue-black for a 3/4 Rat Rogue Legendary with Ward 2. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. Then at the beginning of each end step, create X 1/1 black rat tokens with. This creature gets +1/+1 for each other rat you control, where X is the number of creatures your opponents controlled that were exiled this turn.
Okay.
It's each end step too, which is pretty...
That's pretty nice. It's kind of graveyard Haiti too, so... And that's only your opponents, so it doesn't affect you, which is good. Because this is black colored, you probably want your graveyard not to be touched.
Rest in peace to everyone. So this is not, which is nice. I like also how the rats buff only on the rat super type. Unlike like relentless rats only cares about the relentless rats.
Right.
Yeah, this is all rats.
Yeah, I mean
which is really good.
Play a bunch of kill spells and
start exiling their shit. All of a sudden, everything's an exile, which is pretty nice. Harder for them to get back their stuff. You start pumping your little army of little rats, and you just kind of go to town.
So it says the creatures your opponents controlled that were exiled this turn. Does that mean they had to be on the battlefield or played? Not like I can exile the top 3 cards of my opponent's
Right,
library.
yeah. They have to be in play.
Yeah.
Yes, you can't mill them.
You have to kill something that's in play, basically.
Yeah. No shenanigans with milling someone.
That's okay. Honestly, that's fine on its own. Like, that's a pretty good card.
Yeah.
I mean, it also works in Commander if like your opponents attack your other opponents and stuff dies. So then you'll get some rats.
Yeah, each end step is great.
Yeah, super, super good.
So maybe this is the Commander to make the what's the thing I hate? Goad work.
Yeah. Corey's favorite function in Magic.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Gev, the Scaled Scorch. Black and a red for a 3/2 legendary creature lizard mercenary with ward, pay 2 life. Other creatures you control enter with an additional +1/+1 counter on them for each opponent who lost life this turn. Whenever you cast a lizard spell, Gev deals 1 damage to target opponent. This is insanely good and limited,
crazy.
obviously.
Holy shit.
I've played against it a few times and it's really good. But I mean, it seems really good in Commander too. If you can, like, you don't even need the lizards. Like, just deal damage to people.
Anything,
and then play
yeah.
creatures.
There's just other creatures.
Just
yeah.
Yeah, I see that. Anything that messes with +1/+1 counters as well could be super fun.
Yeah, this is amazing and just red-black. Yeah, Rakdos. Like, it's great. You just deal damage with spells or swing with creatures, and then your new shit you play gets bigger. It's really good. And if they happen to be lizards, then hey, you get to ping them more. But honestly, they don't have to be. Like, you're great just bolting people with this, you know?
Yep.
Super, yeah, it's a super good. And the ward's also really nice too. Definitely.
Should we say Maskwood Nexus? Everything's a lizard.
All your stuff's is a lizard.
Oh, yeah. Then you can just go ping, 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 ping.
Like Grave Crawler. And then it's a win condition in the command zone.
There you go.
Yeah, it seems pretty good.
I probably wouldn't build around that.
Not even you?
Yeah.
Good.
It's a little too jank.
Too jank for Josh.
It's not jank. Still a 3-card combo.
Yeah. It's not bad. Could be worse. Yeah, it's a great card on its own. Though it's cheap and it's pretty powerful. Our next card we have is the infamous Cruel Claw. It is 1 in black and red for a 3/3 Weasel Mercenary legendary creature. It has Menace. Whenever the infamous Cruel Claw deals combat damage to a player, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. You may cast that card by discarding a card rather than playing its mana cost. Wow.
So you could run, with this as your commander, you could run a deck of all lands except 1 card if you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And then just cast that card.
It's Imrakul.
Or Blightsteel.
Also,
Blightsteel.
yeah, of course. Love that.
Yeah.
Blightsteel for free. Also, imagine like having like madness cards that you just discard and then you play those.
Yep.
So you need 2 for 1?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty sick too, right?
Yeah.
I'd say that's pretty good. This has a lot of fun stuff that's built into it, honestly.
My first thought was like Reanimator, but when you play or like you exile from the top card, you need to target it before discarding a card. So like Reanimate needs to find a target before doing it. But I did find there's a card called Exhume where it's just each player puts the top creature card, which doesn't target anything. So you can discard your Ulamog or whatever and then have Exhume grab that from it.
Right. It also work with Shallow Grave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a fun card. I like this.
It's a weasel.
Yeah.
It's a weasel.
He's a weasel.
Move on to Hugs. Oh, the Grizzly Guardian. Oh, he's big.
He's really big.
Red, green. For 5/5 legendary Badger Warrior with Trample. When Hugs
The big
enters,
badger, man.
exile the top X cards of your library. Till end of your next turn, you may play those cards, and you may play an additional land on each of your turns.
Ooh, that's also
Yeah,
nice.
I lost this a couple
Yeah.
times in the early access. This thing is nuts.
Yeah, it seems
So I can
nuts,
see
man.
in limited, you just play this for 4 mana.
You
Yeah.
could, but like if it's later in that game,
Yeah.
like you get till the next turn, you just tap out,
Yeah.
like put 6 into it, and then you have 2 extra card draws basically,
Mm-hmm.
and you could play extra lands. So if you have
Yeah.
lands, you can.
So you get the extra land right away that turn, and then you get
Yep.
2 more lands on the following whatever you exile.
Yep.
Yep.
That's just pure gas, man.
This almost seems really good as a commander because you can just impulse draw whenever you want.
Yep.
Pretty much, yeah. This is impulse draw deck.
I'll say it again: card draw in the command zone. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and this is Gruul, so
Yeah.
Gruul likes to play more.
I don't
shit.
know if I'd want a hug from him though, because it looks like he's squishing the thing to death. Like,
I want
Yeah.
it's like
it
that's
makes-
like a. It's not even a bear hug; it's like a badger hug. Like.
Yeah, I'm gonna squish you real good. Oh man, but yeah,
Next up, we
that's
got
super good.
Mura, the trash technician. 1 red, green for a 2/4 raccoon warrior. At the beginning of your first main phase, add a red or a green for each raccoon you control. Whenever you expend 4, gain 3 life. Whenever you expend 8, exile the top 2 cards of your library until end of your next turn. You may play those cards.
More impulse draw. Let's go.
And this is insane. The mana is insane if you have a raccoon typo.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The
Love
expending
that.
4 is going to keep you from dying a little bit, and they spend
Yeah.
8 as your goal then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just impulse draw to the moon.
But
Basically.
you definitely are going to need the mana to expend 8.
Yeah. I don't think you're expending 8 too much, but luckily, I like what I've thought about. Expend, you don't need to spend that all in one card.
Yeah,
Like,
you can
Yeah,
do
it could be
multiple.
multiple cards that hit 8.
Because it's just the 8th one you've spent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in a
it just
turn.
has to be spells. It can't be like on abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few raccoons that add mana, so I mean, you just play a bunch of raccoon mana dorks, and
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know
and-
how many raccoons there are in the game to really
I mean, there's a few in the set. I don't know how
Well,
many.
the
existed
set I'm
before
sure
this
has
set,
some.
but-
Yeah, probably not many
not
beforehand.
many before. So I'd probably hold back on building this guy
Yeah.
unless you want to do
Seems
this mask
It
with
seems fun, but yeah, it's you definitely have to have stuff to support it though. So
Not
on
It
its
is
own, it's
23 raccoon cards
Mhm.
in
So-
existence.
that's
That's not enough.
okay. That's not a lot.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going
A
commander.
majority of them are in this set.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not surprising. Yeah, so
Technically
might be a little
22
limited.
because one's an unhinged card.
Well,
I would
Probably
hold
not
off a
playing
bit. Wizards usually like knows what kind of like typos coming in, so they kind of plan that ahead in different
Yeah.
sets. So I'm sure we'll see.
yeah,
more
we'll
raccoons.
hopefully see more, but yeah, for now it might be a little limited, sadly.
I mean,
But-
20 is still enough. Like,
It's
Yeah.
fine,
that's assuming
You
they're all
don't get any-
playable, though.
depending
Yeah,
on how
it's-
good they all are. But
You don't get a pick. Yeah, so
Yeah,
you're
Plus
gonna
you have
have,
plus you
throw
have
'em all in.
changelings.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's always
Changelings
changelings.
are
It's true, and they can be good for sure. But yeah, we'll have to see with that one for sure.
And you have the Masquid Nexus.
Yes.
Everything's a raccoon. Get mana for every creature.
All right, we'll move on. Our next one we got here is Burke, Long Ear of the Law. It is 4 white, green white for a 4/4 legendary rabbit soldier creature. It has vigilance. When Burke enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it attacks, double the number of +1/+1 counters on it. Holy crap, this is a Selesnya card. Like, to the
Yeah.
to the T.
You
Imagine
want
this with
1/1
doubling
counter?
season or
Yeah.
anything else with this. Yeah, just 1/1 counter dot deck basically.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah, so in a counter token deck, this is pretty good.
we've seen the double number of counters on it on plenty of things now that are much cheaper. I think they mostly deal with humans, but this one, I guess he doesn't need to attack at all. It's just whenever that creature
it's
with plus
a
one
creature,
counter.
or the one that you want to buff.
So you literally could just play this down, put a 1/1 counter on 2 creatures, and then attack with that creature, and it's going to get at least one more one.
At least,
yeah, if not more. And that should snowball pretty quickly, honestly. As long as, you're set up well enough.
Yeah.
I don't think that's bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I mean, 6/4/4/4, sure.
But I do
Not
think
incredible.
you need the rest of the deck to be built around 1/1 counters. And then especially if this is your commander, you're just going to play this for to win that turn type of thing.
Worried about this as commander doesn't seem too strong. I feel like I would go in a different direction, put this in a 99.
Yeah, you could do that too.
But in limited, this actually does seem really good.
It's nuts.
Yeah,
in limited.
6.
Yeah, this is
You
insane.
can put the +1/+1 counter on himself too, as long as you just got one other creature.
Mm-hmm.
So it can come out as 5/5.
Yeah.
It's a rabbit soldier too. You could put it in a soldier deck.
Yeah, soldier. Yeah, that could definitely work. Soldiers do +1/+1 pretty well, so.
A little worried about it being the commander, but seems decent in the 99.
Unless you just are going for like I said, if you build the whole thing around 1 counters and you're just going to win by doubling the counters on a bunch of things, then it could maybe be your commander and you just have your win con in the command zone. But
yeah.
It's a high cost.
Otherwise, it's probably in the 99.
Yeah. It seems more like a 99 card to me. There's better commanders for this. But it's fine on its own, though.
All right, we got Phineas, Ace Archer. Green and a white for a 2/2 legendary rabbit archer. Got vigilance and reach. Whenever Phineas attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control that's a token or a rabbit. Then if creatures you control have a total power of 10 or greater, draw a card.
Well, this seems nuts for a token deck.
How many times? Just whenever you hit power 10?
Whenever you attack.
Whenever he attacks.
So you'll draw 1 card whenever you attack.
Got it. Okay, gotcha.
But this seems good in your wrist deck, James.
Yeah, it seems super good in my deck, man.
You just attack with this, put a 1/1 counter on all your tokens, and then draw a card.
Yeah, I'd love to do all of that.
Yeah.
And it's just total power 10. That's not hard to do at all. That is very
you
easy.
need like 5 tokens.
Yeah, at most.
Well, he's a 2/2, so you need like 4.
And heaven forbid you have like Divine Visitation out, so then you only need like 3. Because they're all 4/4s then.
You only need 2 then,
Yeah. Oh yeah, 2 plus this. So yeah, like that's very doable. This is a good card. And yeah, especially in a deck like mine where it kind of relies on...
it seems great in every
counters,
token
tokens.
deck. You could play this as the helm of a rabbit deck, but I don't think there's a lot of rabbits yet.
Yeah, same with kind of what we were talking with raccoons earlier. There might not be enough support for that. But
it could be the helm of just a token deck. I do like how cheap it is.
This is great as a token deck helm, honestly. Like if you're not running something like Risk where you're making creature tokens, you can run something like this that basically buffs them. So
and draws you cards.
Yeah, I mean that's a great engine just on its own, and it's also super cheap, which is great for a commander. So yeah, it's got a lot of potential for it. It's
wondering if it's more of a win more card though. I do like the draw card. I think the draw card really pushes over the edge, but I think it might be more of a win more card. I like to call it, where it's like you already have all the tokens. If you already have all the tokens, you kind of are winning. Right. But
I mean, sort of.
But like I said, you realistically only need 4, right? Because if you have 4 1/1s, you play this, that's 6 power, you attack with this, now you have 10 power.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, power 10
like,
token deck
you
is
could
not
be in a
hard
serial commander where you have like 4 1/1s and nothing else on the board.
Yeah.
Like, because they just killed everything else, and then you can't swing into their big things.
Yeah.
But that's where it'd be good. It's going to be bad in the point where you're just way ahead and it's like a win more.
Yeah, this is really good.
Or it's going to be bad because you have no tokens.
Yeah, this is good early when you're like trying to build your board. Because this will kind of start
Worth
snowballing you a
the
little bit.
risk at finding that sweet spot where it's not doing anything or winning more anyway, but finding that perfect sweet spot, is it really worth it? I don't know.
I think it's worth a 99 spot. I don't.
Oh,
The
it's 100%
draw
worth it.
card-
Commander spot is what I don't know.
I think the draw card is nice, is where it's really pushing it over the edge for me.
This is really good in my, also, this actually might be better in my Sidar deck.
Just put it in both.
Because in Sidar, he can always attack without being blocked because he's 2 or less power.
That's true.
So, yeah, then he's basically always, I don't have to worry about him dying, and then I can always get that ability. So, yeah,
Play
if
them
you
in
can find a way to
both
protect it.
Get 2 copies.
Yeah, get 2 copies. I'll have to pull them, I guess.
Looks like James is running Selesnya in our draft.
He always plays Selesnya.
Oh, this is
That's
true.
what I play, man. What are you talking
His
about?
commanders are Selesnya and Naya. Like,
So far, yes.
so green, white, and green, white.
Yeah.
With some red.
With red, okay. Impact Tremors, God.
Who's next? Is it me?
Yeah, you're up.
Next up is Lunar Convocation. It is white and a black for an enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained life this turn, each opponent loses 1 life. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained and lost life this turn, create a 1/1 black bat creature token with flying, and it has pay 1 and a black, pay 2 life, draw a card. This is better than Greed, right?
That's like literally Greed, but better. Yeah. What the
Green,
hell?
1 black?
Greed is 1 black, but it costs 4 to play. This costs 2 to play.
Yeah, it's +2, but it's
Greed is
Orzhov.
better in the long haul, but this is better short term.
I mean, plus,
all you
all you have to do is gain life. You gain 1 life, then you pay the 2 life to draw a card, so it's like you paid 1 life, and then you get a 1/1 bat.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, so you kind of get an extra payoff. It's kind of nice, right? It's a pretty decent card, honestly, because like we think of how good Greed is, because Greed on its own is super good. This is just like strictly does more stuff. Like in the long run, at least. I think that's really good. It's pretty powerful. Yes, you have to have white. That is the downside.
It seems good in the Orzhov Aristocrat paying life.
But yeah, obviously, yeah, those colors,
like they're
going to
more
love
tools.
this.
Their decks are already good, but you know.
Yeah. And Aristocrats is already like what? The type fucking thing? They're the top fucking thing? Like,
it's up there.
Do they really need more?
Yeah,
it's good for that.
Yeah,
this
super
is
hot on it myself.
Card, I think.
But what the heck is happening in that artwork, though?
Yeah, that artwork is something else. It's kind of spooky.
Those skunks are going to war, man.
The skunks and the bats are going to war, it looks like.
Yeah, something.
Intense.
That's intense. That's an intense scene. I like that one, though. That's good. Moving on. Our next one is Zoraline Cosmos Collar. It is 1 and white-black for a 3/3 legendary bat cleric creature. It has flying and vigilance. Whenever a bat you control attacks, you gain a life. This goes great with that other card. Whenever this enters or attacks, you may pay Orzhov and gain 2 life. Or, sorry, you may pay Orzhov and pay 2 life, my bad. When you do, return target non-land permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. I was about to say, oh, it's Sun Titan, except now it's not as good. Which is unfortunate.
It's good in a bat deck.
Great in a bat deck, and honestly, it synergizes real well with that enchantment we just talked about. So
it's also good in like the 3 CMC or less deck.
Yeah. The finality counter kind of sucks, but that is a nice ability, though.
I like how Sun Titan can get lands, and this is non-land card.
Yeah.
It's a little...
But this also only costs 3.
It costs literally half the cost.
But it costs 5 if you want the ability right away.
That's true. You do have to still pay for it. And pay life.
Yes, in a bat typal deck could be good, but I don't see this as like a commander card. This is going to be really good on Raid Unlimited. 3 mana, 3/3 flying vigilance.
Right.
Ooh, yeah, super good.
Devastating. But commander, it'll be very niche what kind of deck you want this in. I'm thinking.
The 3 CMC or less is definitely what you're looking for, probably. If that's a
I mean, I played in that in the 3 CMC or less deck. Although, what's the other one? The Angel that you could just play? Is that 4 mana or 5 mana?
I think she's 4 mana.
4 mana.
Yeah.
But
yeah, interesting card. A little more niche though.
I like the art. He's a cute guy.
Art's sick. Looks really good.
We'll move on to Alania Divergent Storm. 3 blue-red for a 3/5 legendary otter wizard. Whenever you cast a spell, if it's the first instant spell, the first sorcery spell, or the first otter spell other than Alania you've casted this turn, you may have target opponent draw a card. If you do, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy.
Okay, that's better.
Give your opponent a card to copy a spell.
I like how it's a may, so you don't have to do it. Like
that could be good. Yeah, usually I don't like making opponents draw cards, but if it's a good spell, I don't care.
Yeah.
Especially if it's going to win me the game.
Yeah, if you're casting like Expropriate or something, or Time Walk or something.
Yeah, draw your card. I don't give a 2 fucks. You're not going to be able to do shit now. Whatever. Enjoy that card while I just destroy you.
Yeah. I mean, you can copy otters, too.
Yeah. It's got to be something worth your time, though, because, otherwise they're drawing cards, and that's brutal.
Yeah, that's where the May ability is really nice here. Like,
you're only going to want to use it on ones that are going to be really helpful to you.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah,
is 5 mana too much?
5 mana is a lot.
3/5. I don't know.
3/5 that does nothing at the moment.
It's like okay. You only have a couple spots for this effect, so you're going to want. I mean, are you playing it as a commander?
As a command, I feel like it's really slow. You're not doing much.
It is slow.
I feel like you want a commander that's a little better than this.
I don't know if I like it. I mean, the effect's powerful.
It is a powerful effect with the right cards. Mm-hmm. Again, this is going to be a little more niche, I feel. If you have the right spells that are very devastating that you do want to copy, sure, that is great. If you don't, then your opponents are drawing cards, and then they might be, getting an advantage on you because of that. So, always hard to say.
It does give you that, like, I like cards that give me those, like, magical Christmas lands thoughts where it's like, oh, I have a dream. I want to do Expropriate.
I have a dream.
Well, and it does work on first instant sorcery and otter. So if you can cast 3, you can do 3 in a turn.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You can 3 for 1. Yeah. Which is sick.
Okay. That does make it nicer, but your opponent's still drawing cards.
Yeah, your opponent's still drawing cards.
That's still Magic Christmas Land.
I mean, at least in Commander, you could choose different opponents to draw, so it's not like you're giving the same guy 3 cards.
That's true. Turn almost more group hug. But
okay, your opponents are playing Thassa's Oracle Demonic Consultation, and they go for the win on Thassa's Oracle trigger. You play an instant spell and force them to draw a card, and then they deck out.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you can do that. That's very.
You're not playing this in CEDH. It's too slow.
Now we're in Magical Christmas Land. 100%.
That's like that's Uber Magical Christmas Land. That's like winning the lottery while in Magic Christmas Land.
All right.
Yeah. I'm not feeling as much of this one, sadly. It can be good. It can be good, yes, but in Magic Christmas Land, it can be good.
Next up, we got Bria, the Riptide Rogue. It is 2 a blue and a red for a 3/3 Otter Rogue. It has prowess. Other creatures you control have prowess. Ooh. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, target creature you control can't be blocked.
This is really good. Oh my god.
There you go. This is prowess.deck.
Prowess Land, baby. So we all remember how good what was that fucking card that was like in Modern forever? The white one.
Mentor.
Yeah, Mentor. Like, we all know how good Mentor was. This is like going right in that freaking vein, man. This is really good. It
doesn't make tokens. You have to have other creatures.
It doesn't make tokens. You have to have the creatures. And it does cost 4, which is a little more. But yeah, if you have a board of creatures that can support it and spells, obviously, like this could be really good. And the can't be blocked.
I
thing
mean,
is also
prowess
so
can
nice.
stack, so if you have like Swift Spear and stuff, you have double prowess
Double
basically.
prowess.
Yeah,
And they can't be blocked, which is pretty insane.
yeah. Like God, that's so good.
Dragon Rage Channeler and stuff.
You just bash them in for like 10 damage or something, and they just can't do shit. Like that's a good feeling.
Seems like a good commander if you want to be like aggro red blue.
Yeah, very very aggro. This is
My
great
first
for
thought
that.
was Dramatic Scepter, so Ice Crown Scepter, Dramatic Reversal, Infinite Spells.
Just all
You
the
get
spells.
one shot somebody, maybe everybody if you have 2 other creatures.
Yeah, that's very good. And not hard to pull off either. So
Yeah, Dramatic Scepter is pretty easy.
yeah, super good. That's a really powerful card. That's scary if you see that against you, honestly.
It's kind of cool artwork. It's like he's like surfing on water while
Yeah, it
running
looks
away
really
from
good.
what is that, rabbits in the background or something.
The Law, apparently, we read
Yeah, according to the
Long
last
Years
card
of Law.
we've looked at.
Oh,
the police.
law.
All right, we have our first Planeswalker. It's Ral!
Hey.
Crackling Wit. Ral's an otter, apparently. So 2 blue red. He comes into play with 4 loyalty counters. He's a legendary planeswalker named Ral. He has a constant ability of whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a loyalty counter on Ral. What the fuck? That's really good. Okay. +1, like you need a plus ability after that. Create a 1/1 blue and red otter creature token with prowess. -3, draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards. -10, draw 3 cards. You get an emblem with instant and sorcery spells you cast have Storm. Ooh, Storm deck.
I can tell you what, we opened 2 of these in limited. They're super good.
Yeah, that seems very, very good. That's got so many different things going
Just
for
making a dude and then casting a bunch of non-creature spells and giving him more loyalty. And then, like, if you run out of gas, you just draw 3, discard 2.
Yeah.
Eventually, you get to 10, and you're like, sweet, I got Storm.
I mean, the fact that, like, you can ramp up to 10 so fast if you have, like, the right spells in hand, like, oh.
I mean, you could play this, make a dude, and cast 5 spells, and then there you go.
Yeah, let's play, like, freaking not Dark Ritual, but the red one that's basically the same thing.
Pirate Patrol. I don't know. They're all 2-drops or the 1-drops that just adds 2. I don't know. They're close to similar. There's a lot of them though.
There's like
just play.
I guess.
What's the red thing? Jessica's Will.
Yeah, Jessica's Will. That's good.
You get like a new hand and a bunch of mana.
I
like this card. It's good in a Spellslinger deck.
You plus it once right away, then you plus it again on your next turn, and by then you probably have casted hopefully 4. That's the dream.
Yeah, you're probably close to ulting.
And you have the 2 blocks to protect it.
Yeah,
that's the main planeswalker like test.
Yeah, he has something to block it.
Yeah. You keep making blockers.
You can like this really has it all. Like it's under 5 mana. That's kind of what you want. It creates blockers to protect itself. It takes itself up by itself. It gives you gas if you run out, and then it basically has a win con staple to it. So I mean, it's pretty damn good. Just giving everything Storm and drawing cards, like, yeah, that's fucking awesome.
So if you couldn't guess, like in this, the Vorthos of this planes is if you're a human and you enter in to this planes, you turn into one of the 8 animals that's around. Yeah. I'm wondering if you're one of the animals and you planeswalk out of this place, do you turn into a human?
We'll have to find out, I guess. That's an interesting question.
Read the lore story and see what it says. It's on their website.
Heck yeah.
All right. With that, I think we'll switch to our segments. Take a quick break.
Segment.
Corey's crazy card this week is Homerid Warrior. It is 4 in a blue for a summon Homarid. It is a 3/3, and it has pay a blue. Homarid Warrior gains Shroud until end of turn and doesn't untap during your next untap step. Tap Homarid Warrior.
Man, homerids were cool.
Back in the day.
They were like, we need another sea creature. That's not
if you have something that, like for your little jank combo here, if you have something that triggers off of activated abilities, you can infinitely activate this as long as you have blue. Stack.
Not that I could think of at the moment. This is a 5-drop.
Yeah, the 5-drop is pretty brutal, though.
This is one of the first homerids I'm seeing that's not holding a weapon. I always find it weird that the homerids are like holding like staffs and like tritons and stuff. And it's like,
this is just a regular homerid.
Your claws
He's just a
like
dude.
your weapon. Don't they have weapons on their hands?
He's just gonna jab you, man.
Yeah.
He's gonna jab you with his claws. 5 mana 3/3. You can give yourself Shroud,
which is good protection on its own. It's basically like Ward. You just got to pay for it yourself.
It's decent, but it does cost a lot.
It's 3/3 vanilla creature.
I mean, this was back in the day when
edition,
that was kind of normal. But
was that 5th edition? That wasn't even Homelands. Jeez, they printed more. They printed more.
Yeah, we all know how great Homelands was.
Wasn't Homelands enough?
Oh, it was in Fallen Empires too.
Okay, yeah.
That was a better set at least, but yeah.
Fallen Empires also sucks.
Yeah,
that was a rough time. That was a dark time for Magic the Gathering.
Yeah. All right, move on. My jank combo. We're going to go to a Bloomburrow card, Starfall Invocation, the whiteboard wipe. It's 3 white sorcery, gift a card, and then destroy all creatures. If the gift was promised, return a creature card put into your graveyard this way to the battlefield under your control. So now we're going to break a card that's never been broken before. Dualcaster Mage.
Never.
No. If I cast Starfall Invocation, I say, Corey, you're going to be gifted a card. In response to on the stack, I'm going to flash in Dualcaster Mage. Dualcaster Mage is going to copy Starfall Invocation. The copy is going to resolve. Corey gets a card. Dualcaster Mage dies. The old one's back on. And then he comes back to the battlefield because of Starfall Invocation. The gift was promised. Then it recopies the Starfall Invocation. Keep doing that loop. Corey keeps drawing cards until he decks himself. And then you just wipe the board.
That's so janky.
Nice.
Wow.
And in no way, at one point, Corey's going to draw a removal or a counterspell during.
Never. No way. And he's totally tapped out, right?
Yeah. Wait till they're tapped out. Make sure they're
totally
not
tapped out.
blue.
Can't react. Doesn't have counter spells of Force of Will or something in his deck. No, not.
Then it won't work.
Magic Christmas Land again.
Thanks for the cards.
Yeah, it's just like, yes, my cards.
Eventually, I'll draw a card. That'll help me.
Sadly, if you're playing Commander and want to use this combo, when you copy a gifted card, you already targeted that opponent. I can't target then James on the new copy.
Right, yeah, you have to keep targeting them. Yeah.
So this is more of a 1v1 combo, unless you want to wipe somebody out.
The very interesting way to wipe out someone, and you just hope they don't react. They better be playing blue. All right, we'll move on to my jungle card for this week. This one is a old school one that we all love and know very well. It is Deathrite Shaman. It is hybrid black-green for a 1/2 elf shaman creature. Tap it, exile target land card from a graveyard. Add 1 mana of any color. Pay a black and tap it. Exile target instant or sorcery card from a graveyard. Each opponent loses 2 life. Tap a green and tap it. Exile target creature card from a graveyard. You gain 2 life. So this was a huge legacy staple for a long time and also modern until it was banned, I'm pretty sure. It's probably still banned. I can't remember. But yeah, this is just utility.card. Like this just does everything. Like it gains you mana. It makes people lose life. You're able to gain life. You're just able to basically activate whichever one you need, as long as you have the thing that's needed in another graveyard, basically. And it can even be, it could be your own. It could be your opponent's. And then it's great too is if they're playing, graveyard needing decks, you're starving them of resources at the same time. So it kind of does a little bit of everything. So it's a pretty OG crazy card.
Oh yeah, this is the ultimate. Better than Scoobs, better than anything.
Yeah.
This is the best.
Oh yeah, it was the bane of my existence in Legacy until it was banned.
Yeah. Corey
But
hates this
I
card
play
because he plays
Reanimator all the
graveyard.
time, so.
He plays reanimate.
Yeah, you're right.
If turn 1 Death Right, I'd be like, you.
You're like, oh
Like,
shit.
Him being a mana dork too, while being a hate piece, is just gravy on top. You will
It's
main
just-
deck
it's
this. It's
just-
not a
oof.
sideboard card.
It's very spicy. Like, yeah, it's insane. It does, and it costs 1. Like, come on, like it's a great 1 drop. Like, you can't go wrong.
You're right. It is banned in Modern and Legacy still.
Yep. Yeah, it is
You
a
play
vintage
Commander.
only card or commander. Yeah.
Play it in your commander and piss everyone off. So
Vintage Cube is a nice spot. I remember
Yeah, it's a great vintage.
one
Great
of the
cube
last
card.
times I was playing Nikki B, and he played turn 1 Death Ray Shaman. I was playing Reanimator, but then turn 2, he was just like, he had no idea what I'm playing. Attacks with the Death Ray Shaman. It's like, uh-oh. Reanimated Archon right after the turn. You shouldn't have attacked with them.
Ouch.
A little greedy play there.
That's a little greedy. All right. Moving back, I believe it is your turn, Josh.
I'm on Camellia, the Seed Miser. 1 black-green for a 3/3 legendary squirrel warlock. Has menace. Other squirrels you control have menace. Whenever you sacrifice 1 or more foods, create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. Then you can activate an ability 2 and forage. Put a +1/+1 counter on each other squirrel you control. So just working on what this 1 card does, if you forage a food token, then that triggered ability goes on before the activated ability goes off. So then you do get that squirrel, and then you get to put a +1/+1 counter on that new squirrel you just created.
Yep, and this is also insane in limited. I've seen it played. It's also going to be
Yeah.
insane in commander, I think.
3/3 for menace for 3. Yeah, in
I
limited.
mean, you could play this as a commander with just a bunch of squirrels, and it's going to be good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sick.
Squirrels
Definitely.
and food producers.
And this is and that's you have to sacrifice a food token to this or to anything. Is that
Of
how it
course.
works?
If you sacrifice food for anything, you get a squirrel.
Yep.
If you forage, you put a 1/1 with the ability. You get a 1/1 counter on all your squirrels. But you could forage a food token, so then you get the counter, the 1/1, and then a 1/1 on all your things.
Yeah, that's really good.
So instead of gaining the 3 life, you could just keep activating this to forage your food.
Yeah. Which is really good if you have a board. Obviously, the 3 life squares you're behind or something, but yeah, that's a great way to buff your board. And everything
There's
having
gotta be-
menace too. Once they get big enough, like they're just gonna be unstoppable.
Something with sack outlets where I sack a food, I get a squirrel. I sack the squirrel for Ashnod Altar for mana, create a
Get
food.
mana,
There's
gain more mana.
a big combo coming here soon. I'm brewing over here.
New jank combo next week.
Let me cook for a second. Let's see.
Let them cook.
All right. Next up, we got Yagura, Eater of All. It is 3 black-green for an elemental cat.
Nice.
It's a 6/6. It has ward. You have to sacrifice a food. What? My opponent's never going to have to sack food. Oh, but wait. All other creatures are food artifacts in addition to their other type, which have the food ability. And whenever a food is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put 2 +1/+1 counters on this.
Dang.
Holy
So the
shit.
target, they got to sack one of their dudes, and when they do that, you get 2 +1/+1 counters.
Hell
Hold
yeah.
up, that's the missing piece for Camellia, the Seed Master.
There you go.
Food, you get a
This just
squirrel.
keeps getting bigger. Yeah.
Yep.
Man.
Sack the squirrel. It's a food. You get a squirrel. That's also a food. You get infinite.
Infinite with
Very
any
suspicious
sort of
how it's the
deck
same colors and can totally fit in the same deck. Wow.
Oh my god.
There you go. Ashnod alters this and
Oh
that
my
last
God.
one. You get
Yeah.
infinite.
Yurgra's infinite. You have infinite mana.
Oh, this could be broken in many ways. That's disgusting, man.
I think I
Ooh.
like this a lot as a commander, though. That can get huge, and
Mm-hmm.
trying to get commander damage to that perfect 21, one hit.
Yeah.
You can get there pretty easily, honestly. That would not take much.
And it's one of those giant beasts, and it's a cat chasing all the rabbits.
Yeah, I love this art, by the way. It looks
I
so
guess there's a
cool.
mouse there, too.
Ugh.
Right? Like the front one's a rabbit. The one behind it looks
Yep.
kind of like a mouse.
Yeah.
Yep. Poor dude.
Art's so amazing. He's like it has like the dandelion. Like
Oh, guess what? Guess who it is? It's Chris Ron again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow, another Chris Ron art. Wow.
That the bird's falling from the sky. Holy crap! Did he just get shot? You
Oh
see the
yeah,
bird?
that's what I was trying to figure out what that was. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, there's so much going on in this card. This card's crazy.
And this
Honestly,
would
the
be
foil-
Coconut houses, too.
this would
Honestly,
be a
the
nice
foil
one
this looks
printed up huge.
Yeah.
Artwork.
I'd love to get a good piece of this one.
Hey.
All right. So yeah, in the right situation, that's just insane. So moving on. We got Mabel, heir to Cragflame. It is 1 red white for a 3/3 legendary mouse soldier creature. Other mice you control get +1/+1. And then when this enters, create Cragflame, a legendary colorless equipment artifact token with equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has vigilance, trample, and haste, and it has equip 2. That's quite a good equipment.
Yeah, I mean, these are okay in the mouse deck for limited. I don't see it being played much outside of that. It's not good enough. And I opened 3 of them in my limited pool, and I was like, you only want 1 or 2 maybe because like it's legendary. Like,
Right, you can only really play 1, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's like medium.
I'd be happy with 2 in the limited deck, but yeah, 3 is too
Yeah.
much.
And I don't know if this will be seen played outside of like in Commander unless you have a mouse deck.
Yeah, that equipment is not. Equip 2 is the main part that's like making me why.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, and there is stuff that you can get around the equipment, but like still, like it's a mouse lord. You're gonna need some mice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's that. I mean, there's rats. There's not any mice.
There's a handful of mice in Magic, but
Yeah.
that have already
Not
existed.
like a crap ton, but yeah. So it doesn't have a ton of
Same with that
utility to go
raccoon
with
problem.
it. Yeah, it's we kind of ran into that a little before. If you're able to get enough, this could be fun, I guess. But
My first initial thought, it doesn't work because it's a legendary artifact. It's like you can flicker this, make tons of this equipment, but
yeah, if it wasn't a legendary artifact, then it could be fun.
be sick.
yeah, that'd be way better. Yeah, that's true.
All right, we'll move on to Clement, the Worry Wart.
I
One
love that
green
name.
blue magic, man. You've been pulling me.
He's a wart.
He's
He
literally a
worries a
frog.
little bit, and he's got warts. All right.
Yeah, because he's a frog.
Legendary frog druid with vigilance. Whenever Clement or another creature you control enters, return up to 1 target creature you control with lesser mana value to its owner's hand. That's not a May ability.
Yeah, it is. It's up to 1,
Up to 1. Oh,
so you could choose
Perfect.
0.
perfect.
Oh, fair.
Frogs you control have tap, add green or blue. Spend this mana only to cast a creature spell.
I'll tell you what, I had 2 of these in my limited deck. They're freaking awesome.
Yeah, it seems good.
At least in
Yeah.
this limited environment, because you bounce them. What do frogs do? They bounce. They
Mhm.
jump around, so you just keep
Yeah,
bouncing
it
your
makes
frogs,
sense.
getting
And I'm
all
guessing they-
these over and over.
I'm guessing they all have ATBs, so
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
you want.
There was that
Flick
one
Flicker
Pond-
Fest!
Especially the
Let's
Pond
go.
Prophet that draws a card.
Draws a
It's
card,
an
yeah.
Elvish Visionary.
Dude, yeah, just bounce the Elvish Visionary. Draw me more,
I'm
more,
excited
draw
for
me
that
more.
one for Popper a bit. That 2 mana draw card seems pretty good.
Yeah, the frog
Yeah.
guy. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
good.
Pond Prophet.
Pond Prophet is like the staple of this deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is
I
that.
don't know. I like the frog. I don't know how many frogs have existed previously.
Not a
So I don't know
ton.
if you're going to do frog typal deck or not, but you can build an easy flicker deck with this, like
Mhm.
because you
Yep.
just play a creature, bounce a creature that's lesser mana value.
It's a shame White's not in his color identity because he could use like Wisp or something like that. But this can definitely do a lot on its own. So
Out of the mouse and what we were doing, the raccoon, I think frog is a little bit more viable just because
Yeah.
it has like that bounce. It's not super
yeah, it's got that
prevalent.
nice synergy,
Yeah.
and ETB matters has been a thing for a long time. So this just fits into that super well. And we all know it works because Brago exists. Let's look at that.
Yeah, and
One of the best freaking
there's
decks.
70 frogs in Magic, so there's quite a few frogs.
Okay, so you got a lot to choose from. You can actually
I think
pick
frogs
your
and squirrels had the highest previous count.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't think they had that much, but heck yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
My first thought is intruder alarm. So something comes in, you untap all the frogs you have.
Yeah.
They pay, you bounce something. They pay for the next frog that you already bounced. They all
Yep.
untap,
Yeah.
try to do something that bounces a bunch of frogs.
Yeah.
Seems
Yeah.
good.
Really good. Really, really good.
Yeah, I would run him as a commander.
Oh, for sure.
Next up is Corey.
Dream Dew Entrancer, 2 blue and a green for a frog wizard. It's a 3/4 reach. It's another frog I had in my limited pool. Can you tell I played frogs and it was good? It's reach, and when it enters, tap up to, so you could choose, tap up to 1 target creature and put 3 stun counters on it. If you control that creature, draw 2 cards. So you can stun your own thing for 3 turns to draw 2 cards, or you can stun your opponent's thing for 3 turns.
God, that's some good utility, man. You can go either way with that.
Mm-hmm.
I love how you get you basically get a payoff if you hit your own thing.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it's I have a random token I don't care about. Whatever, stun it.
Well, it doesn't
Give me
really
2
matter.
cards.
You just stun your own pawn profit. You draw 2 cards, and then you play
Or you
another
bounce
thing
it back,
and
yeah.
bounce the profit back, and no longer has the stun counters.
Right. That's great too. Synergy again. Woo! ETB is so
solid.
good. Flickering is so good.
Yeah. If you
Yeah, I
like
can see it.
flickering or anything, you can keep targeting the same thing to be stunned.
Yep.
There's a lot of stun counters on it.
Yeah, I can see why the frog typal definitely seems to be one of the really good ones in this set. Because those are some good abilities.
Does
It definitely, if uninterrupted, the frogs doing their thing just wins.
Yeah,
the only
I
way
can
to
definitely see
stop
that.
frogs is to kill them before they can bounce. So
Yeah.
always pack removal, people.
Removal super
Regret.
important.
Bombs.
That's why.
removal, then everything else. Is your boy packing one of those Bugs Life like telescopes thing?
It looks like it, don't it?
Yeah, it really does.
Copy flick.
It's your boy from Pixar. All right, moving on. We got Balin the Haymaker. It is red, green, white for a 4/3 legendary rabbit warrior creature. Tap 2 untapped tokens you control, add 1 mana of any color. Tap 3 untapped tokens you control, draw a card. Tap 4 untapped tokens you control, put 3+1/+1 counters on this. It gains trample until end of turn.
Yikes.
All right. So you got to really have some tokens that you don't care about on the field for this to work.
You probably want foods or treasures or clues or any sort of dispendable tokens. You could tap your 1/1 tokens too. But.
This is instant beat though. Like you could have like vigilance if you want, or just keep them up and then draw your.
Yeah. I suppose you could play this past the turn if you're don't have good attacks. End step of your last opponent's turn. I'm going to tap all my tokens, draw a couple cards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, draw some cards. That's always good.
And like it is Naya too.
Treasure, food. This is, I think, insane.
Yeah, if you could put this as the commander, and I think you could.
Because you just gotta
anything that makes tokens. So
Yeah, you got to think, how many different types of tokens are there in Magic? There's a bajillion.
Well, there's
man.
a lot of white cards that just put 2 or 3 tokens into play.
Yeah.
So.
Like there's so many things that make food like nothing. There's so many things that make clues like nothing. And how many times do you actually crack clue tokens? Because you have to spend like what, 2 to do it? Like
A lot of times you just sit there. You're like, I'll just tap and draw cards.
Or you have like those dumbass, what was it, the map tokens or whatever? Like how often do you actually crack one of those? Yeah, just tap it for this. It's way better. You tap it for free, basically.
Naya has had trouble finding like a good commander, I feel, lately. Like Janine Faye was kind of cool, but I think this is going to be everywhere.
Yeah,
and like like everyone gets sick of Marith because it's like the same, really samey.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be really everywhere.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to play Naya is going to look at Balin, and you're going to see this a lot.
Yeah. I'm just trying. He has to tap 4 to give it plus. Or no, it's 3 plus. Oh, no, that's way better. Oh god.
Yeah,
okay,
it's plus 3.
Tap 4 and you get freaking 7, and it just gains that. How many times to make it just do commander damage? Just outright kill someone.
Should we say
that
like
wouldn't be too hard,
Seaborn
right?
Muse or anything that untaps everything?
With Seaborn Muse, you could draw cards every single turn.
Like literally every turn, you're just drawing cards or making this gigantic, and then you just fucking smack them for lethal. Like, 21.
Intangible Virtue. Your tokens have vigilance. You could attack with them first.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hey, that carrot scythe though is.
Yeah, I love that. That's excellent. Excellent art. Love that. Yeah, this card is broken, honestly. Like I was kind of reading it, it's like this seems good, right?
Yeah, it's good.
I think
it's really, really good.
Generically everywhere.
It's gonna do a lot.
All right, move on to Helga, the Skitterish Seer. Green, white, blue for 1/3 legendary frog druid. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value 4 or greater, you draw a card, you gain a life, and put a +1/+1 counter on Helga.
Jesus.
And you can activate, tap Helga, add X mana of any one color where X is Helga's power. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells with mana value 4 or greater, or creature spells with X in their mana costs.
And guess what? This is a frog with white in the cost.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to play the flickering things too.
Yeah. This is the
you
way
could
to
also
do
just build a 4 mana value 4 or greater deck.
Yep.
Another
4 or greater, baby.
Or X spell deck. I did open this one too as my pre-release foil. I opened like all the frogs. I was like, sweet.
Yeah. And what is that? When you play pre-release, it's not draft, it's
sealed.
Sealed. Yeah, in a sealed event, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Super good, honestly. Like this does so much, right? And it's banned. Like this is a super good banned card.
I think it's fun because like I played a deck that was cast everything 6 mana value or greater, and that was a sweet deck. It was just a Timmy deck. But 4 or greater seems a lot easier to do.
That's way simpler, yeah.
You just play a lot of 4 drops, like whatever.
Like 4 that's such an easier curve to play than 6.
What would be nice is like if you have this in the command zone, you start turn 1 Llanowar Elves or like an elf, turn 2 Helga, then you don't need any more mana. This already taps for 1, plus you have 4 mana there.
Right. Plus this taps 1, and then after you play something 4 greater, then the next time this taps for 2, and the next time this taps for 3, and then 4. And it keeps going.
It just keeps
snowballs.
Guess what? It draws a card in the command zone.
Yeah, draws a card, gains you a life, and gets bigger to give you more mana. Seems good.
Yeah.
Dang.
I've been waiting to build what is this?
Awesome.
I forget the color combo again.
Bant?
Bant. I've been waiting to build like a Bant deck, so maybe this will be a Bant deck I build.
Yeah, that seems really good for and it's great for those colors. Super good, honestly.
That Frog's just deep thought. It's a seer too. It's just so cute. It's just,
he's adorable.
Thinking.
Next up, we got Glarb. It's another frog. It is black, so this one's Sultai frog.
Yeah.
Black, green blue for a legendary creature, Frog Wizard Noble. It's a 2/4. It has Death Touch,
Hell yeah.
and it has, you may look at the top card of your library at any time, and you can play lands and cast spells that have mana value of 4 or greater from the top of your library, and you can tap to Surveil 2.
Oh, that's really good.
It's a lot of stuff on a 3 mana card.
Mm-hmm.
That's doing a lot.
I
And
like how
Surveil
it's
really plays
spelled.
into that too, right?
Yeah, because you get to focus what's on top and
Yeah.
maybe keep the spell that's mana value 4.
Get rid of the garbage that's maybe not going to work.
The land or something.
Keep what you, fucking land, because that's what you always get normally.
But yeah, I like how it's a spell. It's not creatures like the last Helga was all about creatures. This you can cast the One Ring from the top if you want.
Yeah, any spell that costs.
Bam, One Ring. Let's go.
You can also play lands.
Yeah.
So you literally play anything off the top, basically, as long as it's not 3 or less.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is, then you just surveil and put them in the yard.
It's like Augur of Autumn or Courser of Crufix with the lands part, but can do even more.
Yep.
Yeah, it does more shit. And it's
a 2/4 Death Touch, so it's a good blocker.
Yeah, it's a good blocker.
Gosh,
like 4 is a decent toughness, so it's gonna stick around probably.
And the Surveil kind of that. Good.
Yeah, 4 is kind of that sweet spot where it's like it's harder for people to kill it. So that's definitely nice.
I'm trying to think, is it good enough for Vintage Cube? Because it's pretty decent with Fast Bond, of course, with the lands.
Real good with Fast Bond, yeah.
You're casting off Uvenwald Oddity or Questing Beast from the top.
Yeah.
Surveil, you can play like reanimation stuff. I don't know. It seems like in that sweet spot. 3 colors is tough, but
Sultai
seems pretty good. Not gonna lie, in 1v1 limited environment.
Yeah, it could work.
It does seem pretty good.
It really holds its own. It does a lot of stuff, man. It's really good. Bonkers.
Now I might have 2 frog commanders. The last one and this one.
Yeah. Can't choose. Make both.
Just both. 2 decks. 2 decks. Let's go.
I already have a Sultai deck, but maybe I'll just also have a full Garb deck.
Just another one, I guess.
Like they play different because this would be above mana value 4.
I've given up. I have 2 Sultai decks. I have 4 Simic decks now.
Jesus, that's a lot. One color type.
I used to not think I was a Simic player, but I ended up after years and years.
You might be now.
After you have a bunch of commander decks of it, you're like, oh, I guess I am.
Yeah.
It's like whale.
I just like value.
Well, that's like, I thought I was just all black deck, which I am. But then, like, I started combining with green, and I was like, oh, I like black and green together.
Yeah, you're kind of a black and green player, for sure. Definitely. All right, well, we only got a couple cards left. That's technically the end of our multicolored, but we'll bang these ones out real quick, too. So our first land card we have that's not like a basic or something is called Fountain Port. It is just a land, non-basic. Tap it to add a waste. You can pay 2 and tap it, sacrifice a token to draw a card. You can pay 3 and tap it, pay 1 life, create a 1/1 blue fish creature token, or you can pay 4 and tap it, create a treasure token.
It's a nice utility land. Draw some cards.
A lot of utility, really, for what it does. I don't know about 4 for a treasure token.
I mean, it's really slow, right? But
it's not super fast.
You can only have so many in your deck, but if you don't already have any, you could slot this in. I think it's fine.
It's real good if you're missing that one color, so then you can treasure token and get it, but
this is what I think.
4, though, but
it does cost a lot.
I think it's better in a deck that already makes tokens and you just use the sack outlet to draw cards.
Yes, that's where it's going to really shine. Or
the sack, drawing cards with tokens is super good.
You want instant speed stuff, and if you're not going to be countering spell something, you're like...
I mean, the holding up the 3 make a fish to block isn't that bad either. Like to chump something.
And you have to pay a life, though, too, so you can't be, like, almost dead. But you can chump their, like,
it's not
big-ass
bad.
thing.
It's not, like, super good, but it's not super bad. Like, it's definitely, like, playable.
No, it's a playable utility
but
game.
like I said, I think you have to already be making tokens.
Yeah. You definitely want it to be in some kind of token generation deck for it to really shine.
All right, we get ended with a banger of a card. What everyone's talking about.
The one
Three
card.
Tree City. Legendary land. If you haven't heard about it, you're about to. Enters the battlefield. Choose a creature type. You can tap to add a color list, which is already better than Gaia's Cradle. But you can pay 2 and tap it. Choose a color. Add an amount of mana of that color equal to the number of creatures you control of that chosen type.
Yeah, that's really good.
So it's good in typal decks, obviously, like elves and dragons.
Like, yeah, it's literally just as good as Gaia's Cradle in a typal deck.
But it's horrible in limited.
Oh yeah, guaranteed.
Yep.
But I did open one of these, so I'm like, sweet, got the most expensive card in the set.
This will be real good in Commander, though, in certain typal decks, and perhaps beyond, to be honest. This could weasel its way into, like, Modern or something, too. I could definitely see that. If you have the right kind of deck to really support it.
Yeah. Comes in on tap, taking tap for colorless.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, and the fact that it can tap for, because that is the one thing about Cradle that absolutely fucking sucks is if you get wiped, it does nothing, and it's terrible. So this in a way does cover its ass. Yeah, which is nice. That is very good. Obviously, Cradle's for any creature, so you don't have that typal restriction. But this is still really good, honestly.
Thinking you run Cradle in like Vintage Cube because it's any creatures, it doesn't matter. But like in the limited environment draft, you probably still don't want this. You don't have type.
No, it's only going to be good and constructed where like all of your creatures are that type.
Yeah, you have to have a deck that this will be constructed around.
Yeah,
because if you don't have that, this is not going to be good.
But makes me super happy for those budget people. I mean, Gaia's Cradle is out of the window.
I mean, but this helps decks that couldn't play Cradle anyway. Right?
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
like you could play this in Vampires with Edgar.
Yeah, you could play this because that's the other downside of Cradle is it has to be green for it to work. Yeah. So whereas this can be any color you want. So that makes it a lot more flexible, which is very nice.
And you choose the color too when you're tapping it, which is
and it can be any color you want at that time. So I was like, oh, this time I want it to be black. This time I want it to be red. You can change your mind, which is great. We love that. We love utility. So it is more flexible, which is good. This has a lot of advantages, but it does have some disadvantages as well. So you definitely have to remember that this is not a Cradle in those regards, but it is more flexible in other regards. So it's a very interesting card.
Yeah, I'm pretty hyped for this set. I know a lot of people are saying it's pretty powered down, which I kind of agree with it on that, but I've also heard people say this is like old school Magic playing in the limited environment.
It might be powered down in some ways, but did you see some of those 2-drops we were talking about before? Did you see some of those 3-drops we were talking about before? This is powerful at the same time.
So I thought the format was going to be really fast. It's not really, unless you're playing like against the mice deck. Or the bats that go fast.
Yeah.
But I do think in the limited, like I played the pre-releases, I thought I had a blast. I like that the frogs, it meets its theme. It just bounces. Everything I've played so far has met
bouncing all over the place.
Like the frogs bounce, that makes sense. The rabbits multiply and make more rabbits. Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Right? The bats drain you life. Makes sense. Kind of like a vampire thing. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I'm excited to draft it.
I'm definitely looking forward to it.
I haven't tried the rats deck yet, but it looks cool. I want to try the threshold deck. That's what the rats are. So
I've been looking forward to the set for a long time. It's just a really cool, theme and everything. And it's gonna be real fun to play, just in general. And this is gonna be great for newer players to play too, because it is a little more simple in ways as well. So
I love that.
Which
is also easier to draft because you could just pick a creature type, draft that creature type over and over.
Like if you're wondering what to draft, just stick with your type and you're good. It will be fine. And Wizards did a really good job with that with the set. So
All right, then if you want to pick up any of these cards, make sure you do so using our TCG Player affiliate link, which we found in the show notes and on our website, mtgplace.net.
And you can help support the show at patreon.com. We have different tiers of involvement to get you different perks. Also, if you want to come talk to us, come hang out with us in Discord. We're there and available to chat.
Yeah, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe to be notified when all of our videos and podcasts when they are released. Thanks for listening. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Peace.